Hello everyone, Mr. Happy Zap here. I guess today I'm going to be laying down my shower base, an acrylic shower base. This particular one's made by Ove, O-V-E. It's 32 by 60 inch, and it's got a center drain, as you can see here. Now the drain, you have to buy your drain kit, I guess, on these, and this one here, this particular one has one where it's compression fitting, and you can see the silver thing back there. I guess you use that once you stick your pipe in there. Use that to compress the rubber gasket around the 2-inch pipe that goes in there. And I guess it's just as easy as popping off this cover here, and they'll get at it, get rid of it, and they get rid of that, and then pop that back on. Now, I did some research on the internets, and I was looking at things with acrylic bases, and found out that it's not a good idea to use plumber's pipe dope, or plumber's dope, or whatever they call it, to place a ring around and then compress the fitting on, because they say that there is the tendency, or could have the tendency, of actually reacting to the acrylic. Not so much fiberglass, they say, but to acrylic. And it leads to fatigue in the acrylic for some reason, and I definitely don't want that happening. So found out that it's best to use something called some call it PL 5200, maybe, and I think that stuff's made by Loctite. And then there's the 3M version, but it's a marine adhesive sealant, and this stuff here is black. I can only get it in black, hence the black ring around here, but that's going to have the cover on it anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So I put that sealant on there, and it's oh, why is it not focusing all of a sudden? There we go. I put that adhesive on there. Once again, it's by 3M, and it's had a couple days to cure, and takes, they say, it gets tacky after 24 hours, and then fully cures about 4 or 5 days. So it's still kind of in its curing process. Now, the back side of this base here, the reason I got it is it had all these feet on it, which help for support. But the more I was watching videos, and even from their videos, everybody, whether it's Muralin or Max or whatever else, they say to put down a mortar base and then set this into the mortar base, and then make sure it's good and level, and you should not have any problems with the acrylic, or even if you're using fiberglass, to crack, because there's really not much, there's no pressure points. As you can see here, if you step here, it'd be a pressure point, but I guess it's made, thick enough so that, and I was standing on it, and, that area and those areas in there seem pretty solid, but you only do it once, and it only has to happen once, and you got to tear the whole thing out again, and that can be a real pain in the butt, as we all know. So what I did here is, I've already got that acoustic seal or whatever along here. Still have to do the whole entire humble abode all the way out in the outside walls yet, but I just sealed these up in case a little bit of cement, because I guess you're supposed to make the cement. I guess it's they used to say 3 parts sand and 1 part Portland cement in there. I've got something that's a 2-to-1 mixture, so it'll have a little more cement, but make it a little bit not runny, but runny enough. So, but that's the reason I put that there, so in case a little bit seep by, you wouldn't it wouldn't go underneath there, in between the plate and the floor. I don't think that should be a problem anyway, but that's what I did there. And I got marked out where I have all those little feet would sit, and also where this base here. So I'm only going to put cement up into here to this point here, so that it sticks in here. I want to try and keep away in case you have to get at the drain. So the cement will come up to about this point here once it's all squished in, and then excuse me, I'm going to put a good amount of cement in. From here to the top, the bottom of these is about 1 1/8 inches. So I'm just going to lay my mortar in kind of around the circles, okay, and then squeeze a little bit in the circles, and then keep the cement, you know, on the outside here. So I don't know if it's gonna. I got their 50-pound bags. I'm gonna mix one up and see how much it covers. Maybe one will do it. I might have to mix up another half a bag or whatever. Then, you know, squeeze the thing in place, make sure everything's level, and I guess just let it dry for a few days so that it's good and solid. So I'll come back and show you the cement I put in place before I place the base. Okay, I've mixed up the mortar, and I used this stuff here. It's just called scratch mortar. They're in 50-pound bags. It's not like Sacrete or whatever. I put too much water in the pail, so I got about half a bag left there. So I've got probably 75 pounds worth of cement in here, and I had to kind of dump whatever was runny, dump it over into here. So that'll probably be a waste, but anyway, so I used one of these hand mixer, mortar mixer kind of deals. I've had this thing for a while, and you know, after mixing up all that Sacrete over the last 3 years, I wasn't prepared for this. So I got lots of mortar, and you know, just got to make sure you mix it up well. Okay, and I think I've got it to a good consistency. Seems you know, seems like it'll stand up when I put it in place, but not too hard. So I think that's what I'm going to stick with, is right here. And then pour that all in place. So I'll have to carry this lump of pail over there. Hopefully this handle will hold up to 75 pounds or so worth, plus the water. And I'm going to pour everything in place, so I'll be back at you. Okay, believe it or not, that there is 100 pounds of mortar setting in place. That's 2 bags of mortar. Now I've got a good amount in there, and I think that should make a good solid base. So now what I'm going to do is lay the base down. Of course, I don't have one of those selfie things that hold the phone up, so I can't really show it to you while I'm doing it live. So, but I'm going to set the base down now in place and squiggle it in, get it good and solid, and then put the levels on it, and I'll be back to show you what the levels show. Okay? Okay, so I have it all in place. I have it weighted down. There's my level across the 5 feet. Well, within the bubble. I mean, it's not perfect, but you know, whatever it is. Let me try. And then across the back side here, see the bubble there? It's pretty darn close. And so I've got it weighted down. So now I guess the next step will be, even though as you can see there's a gap in here, but that's just the way, I guess my wall's not quite straight. Well, I'm not a framer, but, and then over here there's a bit of a gap, but also there's a bit of a bevel to the actual side of this, so it would have stayed out from there anyhow. So the U-tile will cover that up, no problem, and drywall, and shouldn't be an issue. So I guess now I'm just going to let this thing, just let it sit there for 2-3 days, let it solidify good, and then go along and put screws through the flange to screw it to the wall. I'll probably put shims behind there just so it doesn't bust out the acrylic flange. And then I've got my plumbing started here. So that I got for the valves, I still got to put the PEX down in the basement. Now I've also put a block in here, just in case I want to put one of those seats in here, those cedar seats, foldable cedar seats inside. So I have that in place just like I did for the toilet dispenser paper stuff. And then of course I put all my blocks in for the to be able to attach the U-tile. Now I'm still going to be putting a piece of 1/2-inch plywood across but here about it'll be like 4 feet by 4 feet behind here, just so that probably start it down below here. It might be 5 feet high, and then that'll, in case I want to put a handrail in there. You got something, just not, depending on the U-tile, be able to screw into something really solid. And same with this here. I'm going to put some chunk of plywood down, and then same down below here, just so that I got something to screw in for the shower tower. Now, once again, not just depending on the thickness of the U-tile, even though there's some kind of a plywood interior on this, and it's fiberglass coated, of course, so I don't want to depend on that totally. So that's the next step, and so I guess the other thing too is make sure you keep your tools clean when you're doing cement work. That's important. Always rinse stuff off. This paddle here has been done a lot of work over the last 4 years now, and just by rinsing it off all the time, there's not much stuff on there. And same with your trowel. I use a trowel to put it in there. Just clean it off well, and then rinse out your pails. And it should be good to go. Okay, so until we meet again, once again, Mr. Happy Zap saying, keep a cool tool, and we'll yak at you later. Bye for now.